Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy Shirley, Access Consciousness Facilitator, and I'd just like to give you some awarenesses around asking questions. I've been doing Access for 17 years and I never realized how much it becomes a part of your life to ask questions, but it's not always like that for people, especially when they've just started to find out about these tools of access. We've been so entrained in this reality to answer questions and to look for answers. When we're at school, that's a really good example of how we are always looking to get the right answer. So one of the tools, it's actually a key to one of the 10 keys to freedom. Here's a really great book if you're ever interested in finding out more about the 10 keys to freedom. Asking questions is, have you ever noticed that you get yourself into a situation and you don't know how to get out of it, or things don't go the way you want them to go? And so we come to a conclusion, we say, oh, this is really, really annoying, or I'm frustrated with this. Those are what we call conclusions. So when things are not going the way you want them to, you can go straight and ask a question. Like when you're first starting to ask questions, if you just asked, how does it get better than this? When things didn't go the way you want them to, you will start to get into the groove of asking questions. How does it get better than this? Opens up the possibilities of something greater showing up. You don't always ask that question when things are not going right. You also ask it when things have gone really good. So for instance, if you found $20 on the road, if you ask, how does it get better than this? You're inviting more possibilities. You're asking things to always get better. You're always asking for more, and you're asking for more. A really good example too is, I remember working with a lady who was very, very lonely, and she thought she had no friends, and she said, I don't have any friends. And so what people tend to do when they don't have any friends is they judge themselves. They think there's something wrong with themselves because they haven't got any friends. But you know what if it was just as easy as asking, what would it take to have some more friends, or to have people in my life that I really enjoy being around? What would it take? Ask for those people to show up. It's not that that person is not really good to be around. It's just that she's never thought to ask. Well, I haven't got anyone to play with. All right, so what would it take for me to have some people that I can go out with and socialize with? Or what would it take for me to find some people that I really enjoy having fun with? That's just one example. Another example is, how does it get better than this? How it changes the molecules. I remember once when my mum, who was in her 80s, and she was very old, and she used to stay in bed all day, and I was taking her to the doctor, dressing her, putting her clothes on, and putting her shoes on. She hadn't been wearing shoes. She hadn't had shoes on her feet for a long time, and the shoes would not go on her feet. And I just said, how does it get any better than this? And you wouldn't believe it, but the next thing, her feet just slid into those shoes. It's amazing what you'll notice when you ask these questions. Asking questions is about opening up possibilities for you. When you come to a conclusion like getting annoyed with something, you are stopping possibilities. Isn't that interesting? And tonight I'm asking more questions about this little video. What would it take for this video to go viral? What would it take for people all around the world to hear how Chrissy Shirley asks questions and invite more possibilities into their lives? What are the infinite possibilities of having fun? There's some really cool questions. One of the questions I like to ask a lot is, what would it take for this to be an advantage for me? So I'm asking tonight, What would it take for this to be an advantage for you? What would it take for you to start asking more questions than you ever thought possible? What would it take for you to ask questions constantly, all the time? And when you first start out, just ask, how does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? Just ask those questions all day long. How does it get better than this? And what else is possible? And thank you so much, Tom, for giving me this awareness that talking about asking questions in a different way of looking at it. If you have any questions about asking questions, please send me a little message and we'll see if we can address that on another little video clip. Thanks for listening.